let me come to you first, and why don't you open the debate for us? What are the grounds on which any political party or a Congress leader can term a political outfit secular? There has to be some kind of idealistic, value-based driven approach.
Okay, good evening to all your viewers and to the fellow panelists. I think the word secularism in our constitutional framework means a party that is equidistant from all religious groups, or that believes in inclusiveness, that believes in taking everybody along, and does not represent only one community, majority or minority. Now, BJP is obviously trying to give this a spin and comparing the Indian Union Muslim League, which is what Rahul Gandhi ji was talking about, and comparing that with Jinnah's Muslim League. Now, in this reference, I would like to show a particular photograph, if you can zoom in. This is a photograph of Jinnah with Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. I happen to come from the state of West Bengal. And this is the picture of Jinnah with Shyama Prasad Mukherjee. And in this particular case, we have seen as how in British-ruled India, Hindu Mahasabha and Muslim League were in alliance. They had formed governments in the states, in the provinces of Sindh and Bengal. Not only that, in 1942, both Hindu Mahasabha and Muslim League had opposed Gandhiji's Quit India movement. Now, that's about history. We did not have an alliance history with Muslim League, but Hindu Mahasabha did have, and Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, who was the president then of Hindu Mahasabha, had formed Bharatiya Janata Sangh, which is the predecessor of BJP. Now, coming to this Indian Union Muslim League, which is what Rahul Gandhiji was referring to while answering to a very specific query, it was formed by Muhammad Ismail. Now, Muhammad Ismail was a constituent assembly member. It was Muhammad Ismail who had sent his son Mia Khan to the Indian army in 1962 to fight against the Chinese.
That's right.
It was the same party whose representative, whose leader was E. Ahmed, who was sent by Bajpayee ji during the NDA regime to Geneva as a representative of India. It was the same IUML whose education minister, Bashir ji, is known for setting up the largest Sanskrit university in the state of Kerala. And it is the same IUML with whom BJP was doing electoral political business, because they were in alliance in Maharashtra in Nagpur municipal corporation election. But when BJP does alliance with IUML, IUML is perfectly secular, perfectly capable of doing a business. But when Indian National Congress gets into an alliance, they become untouchable. Is this not hypocrisy? Is this not double standard? Secondly, in our constitutional framework, a political party that is registered can only be registered if they are secular. If BJP really believes
can I make few interjections?
Is not secular, it's communal. Why are their registration not being cancelled?
I don't think legally there is a requirement for any political party to be quote unquote secular in this country. If that were a reality, then a lot of organizations which pursue the interest of Hindu community, the Sikh community, Christian communities, or the Muslim communities would not be recognized as political parties. So my limited point there is that there is no requirement per se to not have an agenda which is driven from the point of view of a community. Indian Union Muslim League can have that agenda. My argument to you is something different. You went into the pre-independence era and before we got independence. But in modern independent India, the word secularism has to be linked to a tone of progressive kind of politics. If you look at the website of this particular political party, they openly support Sharia. This is also the party which openly supported triple talaq in the Supreme Court when it was going on. This is also a political party that opposes co-education and call it against the ethos of a religion. Now, while they have a right to say all of these things under Indian democracy, but is that really secular, ma'am?
So, we may have our political differences even with our alliance partners. We have allied with the Left Front, for example, in the state of West Bengal, and we do not believe in communism, or we are not absolutely a leftist party. We do have our differences with left. We are more of a centrist party. Having said that, yes, they have a right to voice their opinion. Their opinions could be different from our opinion, but to call it a communal because it suits your political narrative, and when it does not suit your political narrative, you're happy to get into an alliance. But when it does not, just to suit your political narrative, you're calling it a communal, and you're opposing Rahul Gandhi for the sake of opposition.
Shehzad, I'm sure you have a lot of points to counter what Mita ji said. Here's what I want to add, that when the BJP pursues the politics for the majority community, or raises various issues that concern the majority community in this country, rightly so, and you're branded communal, that's problematic, and I say it very clearly here, then why should any political party be termed communal or non-secular just because they're pursuing a particular cause for a particular community? Shehzad.
Let us begin by the definition given by Mita ji herself, and I hope she will show the same courtesy I showed her. She said that secularism means, according to Mita and the Congress, because she's the official spokesperson, being equidistant from all religions, not representing one's partisan interests. The name Muslim League has one community specific. So how is it is contrary to the definition given by Mita ji in the first opening statement? Now, secondly, I am not surprised by Mita ji's stand. देखिए, जिसको ओसामा में जी, हाफिज में साहब, अफजल और याकूब में हालात का मारा, 26/11 में आरएसएस की साजिश, जिसको पीरजादा में शांति दूत, जाकिर नायक में शांति दूत दिखता है, उनको जिन्ना की मुस्लिम लीग में भी अगर सेकुलर पार्टी दिखती है, आई एम नॉट सरप्राइज. आई टेल यू व्हाई. 3 factual questions that Ms. Mita has to answer. Madam, those photos you were showing of Shamaji and Jinnah, there are many photos of Gandhiji and Jinnah also. Jinnah was a congressman for a very long period of his life. But the fundamental question is that is Muhammad Ismail, whose long history biodata you gave us, was he part of Muhammad Ali Jinnah's Muslim League? Answer is yes. He was in charge of the Madras presidency. Secondly, when Muhammad Ismail, after the Muslim League finished its task of creating a state of Pakistan and putting Sharia first, its objective was over, it disbanded. Then they were creating an Indian franchisee of Muslim League, to which Mr. Nehru, and it is printed and published in online Manorama, Malayalam Manorama, very leading newspaper of Kerala. It was Mr. Nehru who objected and told Mr. Mountbatten that this should not be allowed. Why was Mr. Nehru opposing it if it was such a secular front? Or rather the question should be that if the Congress was truly secular and not partisan interests, projecting partisan interests, then why is it that Mr. Muhammad Ismail, such a great credentials of nationalism, he was not joining you? So were you communal at that time? But that is not the only question that I want to ask. The question that I want to ask today of the Congress party is only this, that you see the vote bank politics drives them to take this kind of stand, where you saw 2 days ago they made the statement about Shengol and Dandavat Pranam. No congressman came out to put out a robust defense of that, or about our Indian culture, or about the statement of Hindu terror or saffron terror, or Krishna ji teaches jihad to Arjun. But today, defending the Muslim League secular credentials, and they are saying that we had an alliance. You know, that is not logically and factually correct. Let me counter that point. They said in 2012 we have an alliance with IUML in Nagpur. In Maharashtra, 2012 there was a Congress government. In Kerala there was a UDF government. Are they saying that their UDF partner was partnering with the BJP at the same time in Maharashtra and with Congress in Kerala, and they are such an ideologically driven party and they were okay with this political bigamy? So therefore it is not logically correct. And secondly, factually correct. Please show the letter of support they gave to us in Nagpur, or we asked for their support through letter, because supports are given by letter. So you tell me the support. Now there might be 10 newspaper reports. Now somebody has quit their party and come to another party or supported some candidate in a local election. That can't be said to be a Muslim League doing an alliance with us. And therefore, and the last question I want to ask Mita ji, with all due respect, by your standards that if it is registered, it is therefore has to be secular. Do you consider Hindu Mahasabha secular?
Shehzad, there's a question. There's a question I asked you as well. I'm sure you
please tell me your question.
The question I'm asking you is that
we represent.
Yes.
What is the definition of secularism? Secularism means one can be a good Hindu, one can be a good Muslim, one can be a good Christian, one can be a good Parsi, one can be a good atheist if you want to be an atheist. But if you want to be a good person in your own religion, you don't attack somebody else's religion. That for me is secular. That is secularism. But Congress's secularism is abuse the Hindus, target the Hindus and say everything, the Muslims are the first right. First right of resources is for Muslims. We are a Muslim party. And therefore, Anusha, I am asking you a most fundamental question. By the standard given by Mita ji that if it is registered, it is thereby secular, why did they call the BJP communal all these years? And is the Hindu Mahasabha communal or secular?
I don't think that's